Hey everyone, Brian Zane here, and by my side, he's gone by a lot of names in his career. He is, however, Johnny Mundo at this moment. He's the star of the new movie Boone, the Bounty Hunter. Of course, he's won championships all over in WWE and Lucha Underground. Thanks for having this interview with me.
Absolutely, bro. Thanks for having me. Current champion of Lucha Underground, current champion of AAA, current champion of QPW in Qatar, current champion of 5-Star Wrestling in the UK. But you're right, most importantly, coming out May 9th, Boone the Bounty Hunter on Amazon, iTunes, and VOD. And then June 6th, it's going to be available on DVD at Walmart.
I don't even need to do this interview. I mean, you pretty much got all the talking points. Let me ask you. Let me ask you this question though, John. So now we're here at the Cow Palace, and you before winning Tough Enough, you started out training in NorCal, the Supreme Pro Wrestling. What's it feel like to be back in this area? I mean, I'm sure you come to this region often, of course in LA, Lucha Underground. But what is it about to be here in the NorCal area, where you kind of got your start?
Nostalgic, bro. I mean, I was a film major at UC Davis back before they even had a film program. I had to do an individual major in film aesthetics and culture, and interned at DCTV, Davis Community Television, hosted like a live music show, and I made all these action movies in school. Yeah. The Foot of Death, about a dude with that super dangerous foot, and The Journeys of Julie, which was also an action movie despite the title. And Kung Fu, a Kung Fu movie about a fast food restaurant. And me and my buddies, a lot of times from Davis, would check out what was going on in Sacramento and in the Bay Area. And there's a couple times we came out here to watch monster trucks, and one time to watch WWE. We just took the train over here. So every time I wrestled here with WWE, it was really meaningful for me because my sister lives up here, and all my friends from UC Davis lived in the area, and it would always be like a big thing, like after the show at the Cow Palace, or sometimes in San Jose even. Everyone would go hang out after the show. A lot of the people that I trained with in Sacramento at SPW, same thing in Sac or in the Bay Area. We'd all meet up after the show, and it's really cool to be back. And it's one of the cool things about wrestling is buildings have memories and places have memories, and they all come flooding back when you come to a place like the Cow Palace.
Now, are those student films, are they online anywhere? Is there any way we can get those, see those? I want to see the fast food movie.
Man, that only exists on beta. Ooh. Isn't that nuts?
That is ancient.
Yeah, it was like the high quality little beta tape things.
Yeah.
I think I have a really crappy quality on VHS that it was funny. I watched The Foot of Death like just last year, and I remember like thinking like it was the coolest film ever when I made it in college. Like I worked super hard on it. It's like this 17-minute kung fu movie, and I did all the dubbing and the sound effects and everything. And when I watched it back, I was like, oh man, I remember this being a lot better.
So you say you picked the right career path then?
Well, no, I think you make a couple stinky movies before you make a good one. I mean, I made all those action shorts. My senior year at Davis, my thesis was a movie called Point and Shoot. Wrote, directed, starred, produced, and edited Point and Shoot, and that is might as well call it Point and Shit, because that was not a good movie. It was like so bad, the lighting and the audio were bad, you couldn't even see the thing. But specifically action filmmaking, and I grew up on pro wrestling and action movies. So pro wrestling is pretty much everything I've ever been interested in. And after that run with WWE, I started to think about like some of my dreams growing up about making action movies, which is what's led me down the path that I've taken with writing and spending 5 years on trying to find money and then not finding money and then selling my house to get money to make Boone the Bounty Hunter, which is finally out, and hopefully by the time this is up, it's going to be out, and we're going to see.
Tell me about Boone. What can fans expect to see with Boone the Bounty Hunter?
Well, you can expect a couple things. Boone is a reality show bounty hunter who uses a combination of parkour, pro wrestling, and brawler MMA style moves to take down delinquent celebrities like Kevin Sorbo. Boone also is kind of a goofy dude. He uses his name as a verb. Kevin Sorbo, you just got booned. America, you're welcome. And when his show is about to get canceled for crappy ratings, Boone decides to go boon a real criminal in Mexico. And it's basically when things get real. So he goes down to Mexico, his crew comes with him, they get in trouble, things get complicated, and he has to reality check himself and realize that who he is as a person might be a little bit different from this Boone the Bounty Hunter character that he's been playing on this TV show, and he has to decide between saving his friends and saving his show.
Now let's go back to the wrestling thing for a bit. You've had a long storied career. You've been all over the place. You started with California, Tough Enough, main roster. You've been Lucha Underground, AAA. the UK with 5-Star Wrestling, where would you say is the one place you've like learned the most about yourself as a wrestler?
Man, I'm a believer in the philosophy that my best wrestling match is going to be my next wrestling match. So it's always hard for me to say like my best this or my best that. The thing that I learned the most ever. It's hard to quantify things in terms of like human experience because it's so subjective, and for me it always feels like it's changing. But currently the path that I'm on now and the things that I'm doing feel like I'm learning the most about me as a person. I mean, that explanation of Boone that I gave, like separating Boone the person from Boone, the reality show star, you could equate that to wrestling. Like me, I was John Morrison. I'm Johnny Mundo. I'm a heel versus I'm John Hennigan in real life. It's my shoot name, brother. And separating those two things and feeling like I know what to do when I'm in the ring in front of people, but realizing that when you're not on the road with WWE full time, you're not doing those 220 shows a year. You have to figure out what makes you happy. You have to figure out what makes John Hennigan happy when I'm not doing that full time. And having this time now while still getting to wrestle, which is the coolest thing ever, but being in control of my own life and having my own time, I feel like I've been learning a lot about what I want to do with myself.
Awesome. Any updates on Lucha Underground Season 4? Any news on that? Can you tell us anything?
Yeah, man. This is, let's see, this is unverified, but Season 4 is going to return to the Temple for the next tapings, either this fall or early 2018. I'm super excited about it. Season 3 comes back from hiatus on May 31st. The first episode back is me versus Willie Mack in an all-night-long match. I can't wait for this match to air. I don't know if you know Willie Mack. Do you know Willie Mack?
Yeah, well, yeah.
You know Willie Mack?
A little bit.
A little bit. He's a talented dude. I've known him for a couple years now, and the first time I saw him wrestle, I was like, my face was melted. I was like, oh my God, how did that guy do those things? And the match that we had is one of my favorite matches I've ever had. So I can't wait for it to air on the 31st.
Last question. After this interview is over, will you sign my copy of Wrestle Madness?
Absolutely. Talking about movies, man, I can't wait for the sequel to this thing, right?
Wrestle Madness 2, Revenge of Dog.
Oh, yeah. No, Revenge of the Helix the Hammer Monroe. That was my thing.
That's
I came
right.
up with the whole signature. Grr, grr.
And you and John Ratzenberger were fantastic in that movie, I do have to say.
The only thing that I would have changed in this movie is if me and Ratzenberger won and owned the dog. I think, well, it would have been more realistic for sure.
Well, there you go, folks. Star of Boone the Bounty Hunter, May 9th. Star of Lucha Underground. Star of Wrestle Madness. Johnny Mundo, thanks so much for having this interview. I really appreciate it. And for Johnny Mundo, I'm Brian Zane. I'll see you next time.
Adios.